Summer routines live or die by how easy they are, and honestly, if something takes too much effort, I'm out. That's why Groons is my go-to. It's my one daily pack of gummies covering my greens, vitamins, and minerals. Plus, it has 6 grams of prebiotic fiber, which is more than 2 cups of broccoli. No mixing powders, no giant pills, no hassle. I just rip open the pack and I'm done. They taste good and they make it easy to stay on top of my health, even when life gets busy. Save up to 52% with the code PODCAST at Groons.co. That's code PODCAST at GRUNS.co.
Hi, everybody. This is Dawn Mitchell, and welcome to Dawn of Sports. Today, we are talking with 2 former Gopher volleyball stars, and you know their names, both Minnesota natives. We're talking to Tori Dixon and Sarah Wilhite Parsons. You remember that name as well. And now both of them are playing pro volleyball, reunited in some way, shape, or form. We'll get all into that, but we are talking volleyball today.
That's right. This is Dawn of Sports. She's Dawn Mitchell from Fox 9. I'm Jim Suhan from the Star Tribune and TalkNorth.com. Want to let you know that Leah B. Olson will be joining us periodically. She became on as our Lynx correspondent during the Lynx season, but we'll also get some other updates from her on Gopher women basketball, Gopher women sports, everything else going on around the world occasionally. This week, we're going to concentrate on volleyball. We're coming to you from the Aquarius Home Services Studio, and we want to thank Lexus, Wayzata, and Maplewood, and Minnesota Masonic Charities. Back to Dawn.
All right. Well, thanks, Jim. We're talking volleyball, and if you love volleyball and you know about the Gophers, you know those two go hand in hand with success. So today we're talking with Tori Dixon. Sarah, you remember her name is Wilhite Parsons. Now she just goes by Sarah Parsons. They're part of Athletes Unlimited Pro Volleyball. They have the championship, or AU Pro, as the people in the sport like to call it. It is 4 weeks of badass volleyball with the best players in the world. So Tori and Sarah, thanks for joining us today. How are you?
Yeah, thanks for having us. I'm good.
Yeah, thank you. So happy to be on.
Oh, I just love it. I covered you guys. I work at Fox 9 as well, and covered you guys for years when Hugh McCutcheon was your coach, and you guys were just playing lights out left and right just to see you guys kind of grow into the athletes that you are and then go on to play pro. I am so just proud as a woman to see strong women continue their love on a pro level. And this is unique. So before we get into the uniqueness of this championship and how you guys have played together and then against each other, and now maybe, when it's redrafting every week, maybe together again, I don't know. First, we're going to congratulate Tori. Tori, if you guys don't know, she is from Burnsville, middle blocker of fame, 3-time AVCA All-American, also on the national team. And Tori's dad, David, is a former NFL player, was with the Vikings and drafted by the Patriots way back, but played with the Vikings in 92, 93. And Tori, just first off for you, I know, badass player, just like Sarah, but when you graduated, I know that you're playing on the national team, you've played internationally. When you see the game of volleyball just kind of grow for women outside of college, how proud are you to kind of not only be part of it, but to actually kind of take it forward with you and make it what it is becoming?
Yeah, no, it was super important to me. And I feel like most volleyball players, that's the goal, right? Is to get a presence in the U.S., to be able to play at home and, not have to take these overseas options, or keep them as options and having more opportunities here as well. So I'm really just happy to be a part of it and to see it growing into something that's super big now. And it's only going to take off from here. So it's just such an exciting time for the sport. And like you said, I'm just really happy to be a part of it.
Yeah, it just seems to be exploding, just like women's basketball is exploding. And I just love to see it. And Sarah, you're from Eden Prairie. You're an outside hitter, and your accolades are awesome. Not only are you the AVCA Player of the Year, you're also ESPNW's National Player of the Year your senior year, and also Big Ten Player of the Year. You had all these accolades coming at you. You were named an alternate for the Olympics in Tokyo. When you have that kind of success, knowing that you too can go in the national team and play international. Do you feel like, listen, I see a ceiling ahead in the future and I need to break through that? I mean, you have these powerhouse of accolades behind you. Did you feel that pressure that you had to actually kind of pick up the baton and do some work to continue this as well?
Yeah, I would say I mean, college was amazing, and then having the opportunity to play professional was also amazing. It was definitely a transition going from collegiate level to professional level, and I'm really grateful to have had years overseas, but I'm even more grateful to be able to come back home and play in the United States. And like Tori said, just women's sports is taking off, and so just being able to be a part of it is amazing. And I feel like as it grows, we're all growing as players and people too. And so I still feel like there's more to give, which is really a really cool place to be. And I'm learning a lot from those around me. So yeah, there's always ways to grow and improve. And I think we deal with that every day.
Yeah, Tori, let me ask you this. I know both of you have said it's so good. We love international play, but it's so good to be able to play back home. I know for on the women's basketball side, Nafisa Collier started Unrivaled because she didn't want like the women that were in the WNBA to have to go overseas to make extra money. And, you know, because people get married, they have families, it just gets more and more difficult. So she created Unrivaled. What is this AU Pro Volleyball Championship? I know it's 4 weeks, but it's just got a unique format and unique scoring. But what does that do for the women to be able to have this kind of event? It's in Madison and in Omaha, so it's here in the Midwest. How important is it for you as a woman and to stay stateside, so to speak, and to do this? How cool is this whole championship, and how did it come to be?
Yeah, like you said, it is something that's really unique, and it's a different format and all the things. So I think AU came to be. I don't even know who the initial like founders were. I know our two owners and everything. They really love women's sports, and their AU actually has softball leagues and a basketball league that happened, I think, before AU volleyball. So it's just something that's so important, and it's just an alternate thing. I don't want to sit here and say like, oh my gosh, I hate overseas, I'm never going back, because
Right.
like Sarah, I think Sarah can attest to, like, overseas makes us grow so much as people and as players. And it was a great time for like that point in my life, but I love that there's options now, and I love what AU does. It's very player oriented, player led. Like, I think the players and everyone have a really big say in how the league is run, and I think that's really important, just because we also have a lot of experience in, hey, this works overseas, hey, we don't like this, hey, we need this. And AU is really accommodating to that, and I just really appreciate all the work that they do to bring pro volleyball to the US and kind of be the pioneers of that in the way. There was pro volleyball way back when, maybe like 20 years ago, and AU was actually the one that kind of brought it back. And now we see a bunch of other leagues kind of taking some things from AU and learning from them, twisting them. So we're just happy to be a part of it, honestly.
Well, Sarah, it's kind of cool then, right? That you get to play against Tori again. And I think you guys redraft each week. Is there a possibility you guys can play on the same team? I'm not quite sure. Can you tell me how that works?
Yeah, they're draft every week. Tori and I actually had the pleasure of being on the same team the first 2 weekends. So we did time together, which was really fun. And now these last 2 weekends we're playing against each other. And so it's fun to do a little bit of both. And that's what's great about this league too, is there's a lot of good people in this league. And so even when we're playing against each other, we're chatting, we're having a good time. Like, of course, when the game's going, we're in game mode, but we really do interact with all of the teams throughout the week. And it's just a really fun dynamic actually to be competing alongside sometimes, and then other weeks you're competing against, and there's some strategy there, but also, yeah, it's just really fun.
Sarah, you're also a mom. How do you balance everything like that and be a mom? And how cool, I don't know how old your kids are, but to be able to see mom again in that role of being an athlete is pretty cool.
Yeah, I have a 9-month-old little boy, had him back in January.
Wow.
And that's another
Congrats.
when Tori about Athletes Unlimited. They've just been so supportive of me as a mom. They have a great just policy and different rules in place that really help me be able to do both. because and that's a dream come true to be able to play in the United States with a baby in the stands. Like I really never thought that was possible. And here we are. And it's just I feel really blessed to be in this position. And there's some people who have come back and played after having children. And so I just hope moving forward that's like, I can be a resource to people who want to do that in the future. And just having leagues in the US is what makes it possible. And I just feel really fortunate.
So Tori, how cool is it for you that this tournament is in the Midwest, to have friends, family, kind of, be able to come and show the love and the support. And also people don't forget your guys' names. You guys are at the forefront of bringing the volleyball to like dominance at the U. So how cool is it to have this kind of quasi in your own backyard?
Yeah, it's really cool. I love being back in the Midwest. It is really close to home, so everything is just a little bit easier. And like you said, like we played college obviously a while ago now, but it is really nice being back in the Midwest. And, I had a massage guy out here and he's like, I remember when you were kicking the Badgers' butt like 10 years ago. I'm like, that's crazy, but can you still help me? But it's really fun being back, being to get to play in front of family, friends, and it's really awesome.
All right, Tori, I'm going to start with you and I'm going to ask Sarah the same thing. What is your favorite memory from your Gopher years, playing for Hugh and just all the stuff that you guys did? Do you have a standout memory that like maybe you enjoyed the most or you learned from the most?
One of my favorite memories, I would say playing Nebraska at Nebraska for the first time, because when I first started, Nebraska wasn't in the Big Ten. So it was kind of like my junior year was the first time I experienced that. And you kind of hear about it like, oh, like their fans are crazy. It's super loud, blah, blah, blah. But it was really like really, really exciting. And that's one of my favorites. And I think my other one would be just beating Penn State at home my freshman year. At that point, they were like super undefeated and like the crowd favorite. Lauren Gibmeyer, who was a middle at the time, had a night. Just a lot of fun. But I really enjoyed all my moments at Minnesota. It was really, really cool experience for me.
And then how about you, Sarah? I mean, everyone wants to say, of course, Final Four appearance or this and that. But I always find out when I ask these questions, it's something very different sometimes.
Yeah, I feel like one of my favorite, I guess it was a weekend, was my last weekend, my senior year. It was like senior night. We played Wisconsin, which Minnesota-Wisconsin is always a battle. And it went 5 sets, ended up winning in 5. And just to close out my time at the PAV, like senior night, 5-set match against Wisconsin is like, that's a game that I sometimes even want to go back and watch because it's just really great memory.
Do you watch it?
I have watched it, and my dad has gone back and watched it. Like randomly text me and be like, "Guess what game I just watched?" And I'm like, "Oh man,
Good stuff. More with Dawn and our remarkable athletes here. We do want to thank the people who make the network and the show possible. Let's start with Lexus of Wayzata and Maplewood. Thanks also to Minnesota Masonic Charities.
Today, I want to talk a little bit about the Minnesota Masonic Charities. When you think about the Masons, I get it. You think about the funny hats, those pancake breakfasts, which are phenomenal. But my dear friend John Schweitz and I have chatted about this, and it's so much more than that. They've got the Masonic home over in Bloomington. They've got the hospital for the children over at the U of M. They are the largest fraternal organization in terms of charitable needs in our country, and they deserve a ton of recognition. So thank you, Minnesota Masonic Charities, for all you do and for supporting us over here at Talk North, and a special thanks to my good friend, John Schweitz.
And a reminder, we are coming to you from the Aquarius Home Services studio. All right, Dawn.
All right, so Tori or Sarah, whichever one of you wants to maybe answer this question, tell me how the scoring works. Because I was doing a deep dive and I was watching some of the videos the other day, and I love how they have Tori doing Tori things, and they're showing you guys play. And I'm like, oh, this is bringing me back to when you guys played for the Gophers. But I had a hard time following the scoring because I think one individual wins the championship, correct? Like an athlete. So how does this work for this tournament?
Yeah. Okay, I'll start, I guess. So the biggest way to do well here is winning games. Like bottom line, if you can win volleyball games, if you can win matches, and if you can win sets, That's going to get you the most amount of points. It is like a tally system. So everything is counted throughout the match. And even if you win 2 sets, you could potentially not win the match. And that has happened actually quite a lot. So if there's a really big blowout, every point truly does matter. So set wins, match wins, you get positive points. And then also individual stats play a role in it as well. So kills, blocks, aces, digs, assists, you get positive points. And then on the flip side of that, you can actually go minus. So any error that you make, hitting error, service error, ball handling error, you actually go minus. So I think the best way to do well in AU is, one, win volleyball games and play pretty clean. So typically, like, just not making a ton of errors will get you really far in the leaderboard. So Sarah, you can add to that if you will, but it's kind of complicated in a different form. But
yeah, Sarah, I mean, that means that you have to be on for every single play, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
yeah,
that's hard.
Yeah, truly every point matters, like Tori said. And you can feel really good in one moment. And then if the other team goes on a run, then yeah, that every point matters, which is, I guess, what's helped, I think, people be successful too, is just, one, focusing in one point at a time, but also just staying present in the moment, because it is easy to like get wrapped up in sometimes the point system. But I think when you just compete hard and kind of forget about the extra point system, I think that actually frees you up to play a lot better and play more also cohesively as a team when you're just worried about winning the next point. So it is it's my first year with Athletes Unlimited. Tori's been here a couple of years, so she understands the system a little more than I do. But yeah, there was definitely a learning curve of, oh, this is different. But at the end of the day, it is just 6 people on a side playing volleyball. So trying to simplify it is probably the best thing to do.
Yeah. Well, what I love is it also gives all those volleyball junkies that are like total like fantasy type of, people love to dive into that. That gives them a plethora of stuff to follow then, right?
For sure.
Wow. So, and I know I had mentioned this, you guys get to redraft every week. And what I want people listening to really understand is we're talking about, these are the best volleyball players in the world. We're talking about Olympians, national team players, NCAA champs. So for you guys, how fun is that to be redrafted and then play against someone that you might have played against in college or with on a national team or saw an international play? How exciting is that for you guys? We'll start with Tori first. That keeps it interesting for you as well, right?
Yes, I think like playing in this and being around such high level people, it also like makes you want to play better. But like, it's just crazy playing against some of the best players in the world and people you even grow up watching. Like, I remember watching Natalia, who's one of our Brazilian outsides. They won the Olympics in 2008 and 2012, I believe. And now she's like on the same court and just so nice, like the nicest person ever. And it's just like, oh, I didn't like you 10 years ago, but like now we got to figure out how to play together, But no, she's seriously like the nicest human ever. And so it's just really funny getting to see those personalities too. And like, people change when you compete with them and against them. And it's just a really cool experience, honestly.
How is that for you, Sarah? Was there a player that you're like, oh, I hated playing against her, and now I'm like, oh, I love her?
Yeah, that's a good question. I feel like Natalia is definitely one. She was my position. I didn't play against her a lot, but I do remember watching her when I was young. And yeah, sharing a court with her is great. Or Betty De La Cruz too. I played against her a lot with national team. She was with Dominican Republic but I think that's like the beauty of Athletes Unlimited, like being able to play with Tori again. I got to play with her my freshman year of college when she was a senior, and then played a little bit with national team together. And now we're back playing together again. And there's like a lot of those relationships that we have formed in the past that actually we're coming back together and playing together and against each other now. So I think that's really the beauty of Athletes Unlimited.
Well, I want to give you both kudos. I have a goddaughter. My goddaughter plays at Madison West in Madison, where you are right now, and she's part of VC United. And so she's a junior, so she's starting to really dig into volleyball. And when there are former players from NCAA that now they follow you, right? They're like, oh, I loved her when she was a Gopher, and now they follow you to pro. You guys, and I'm not saying this lightly, you're an inspiration for a lot of these younger women that they can see the forest for the trees. Like, okay, I can go to college and play. I can maybe do international or be on a national team or play pro now, or even do this cool thing like AU. Have you had, and I'm sure you have, but we'll start with Tori first, an experience where these young girls are like looking up at you guys like a rock star now?
Yeah, no, it's always awesome to see like so many young players and like club players and even some college players that come to the matches, just because like that didn't exist. I feel like pro volleyball was always around, but it was international. There was no like social media aspect of it when me and Sarah were like in high school and juniors and stuff like that. So being able to be kind of a role model in that sense is really cool. And then also just like, hey, like here it is, like you can be a professional athlete and you can be a mom and you can be awesome and badass and all these things. And it's just really cool to kind of be an ambassador for that. And yeah, it's really exciting when we get to interact with the kids and like you said, like high school athletes. It's really fun. So hopefully we get to see some of them in a professional jersey one day. And yeah, it's just really cool to be a part of that journey too.
You know, Tori, I like how you say we didn't have that when we're growing up, right? You're on that fine line of like kind of being jealous, right? Oh, I wish I had that, but also being on the forefront, like, hey, I'm creating this for the next generation, right? It's like you're in the in-between kind of.
Yeah, no, it is kind of an in-between. Like we always said that about like even like the NIL stuff or like the pro volleyball in the US, like we didn't have any of that. And so now to see like volleyball being put on that stage and like on that level, how it is now is really so awesome, because it would have been so cool and just a really great opportunity if we had it. And yeah, there is for sure some jealousy there, but also it's like, no, this is like what volleyball and what female athletes like deserve this. So I'm just really excited that it's gotten to that level. And it's just a really cool time to be part of it, you know?
Well, Sarah, I was talking to just a young athlete that plays in high school here in Minnesota, and she's like one of your biggest fans. Like, I remember when she was the National Player of the Year. I'll never be that, but I maybe. And I said, yeah, don't say you'll never be. How does that make you feel? It's just like Tori was saying, you know, that these young women, like they not only know who you are, they know your stats, they know what you won, they know what you're doing now. It's kind of cool.
Yeah. I mean, it's like Tori said, it's just amazing to be able to be that for people. But also like when I was in high school, I never thought that I would be National Player of the Year. Even throughout college, I didn't know that I was going to play professional. And the opportunities are just continuing to come for these young athletes. And I feel like the exposure that we're able to give to them, like it's hopefully these girls are dreaming big dreams. And I think everyone would love to be just a resource for any young athletes. And that's also what's so great about being back in the US is we're able to say yes to a lot of things, like outreach things with different clubs and high schools. Like I got to go to my high school volleyball game for the first time since college.
Wow.
It was just amazing to be able to get to do that because we're playing in the US. Like if we were playing overseas, we'd already be overseas and we would miss out on some of that connection. And so that's another reason these leagues in the US are just amazing to have. We get to be around for a lot more outreach opportunities.
Well, one of the reasons why I want to do this podcast was to highlight some strong, independent women that are athletes, but the sport also helps in so many other ways. And like, Tori, what is your experience with being able to play a sport, become an athlete, but finding your voice, not only as an athlete, but kind of, you know, in the working world or with a family or who you are now? You know, that we hear so many C-suite leaders and executive directors and women now all played sports. How has playing volleyball helped you in other areas?
Yeah, I think you do see a lot of that in the business side of it. But I think just like, honestly, being part of a team and being a part of like, hey, like there are 16 different women on this team right now. That's 16 different personalities, 16 different walks of life, and being able to work with different backgrounds, races, different areas of the country, different areas of the world. It's just like such a interesting way to learn how to communicate properly and effectively and, you know, open your eyes to certain things and all the like just everything, honestly. I feel like being part of a team and being in this volleyball world is really, really important, just to learn good life skills and like to get experiences that you wouldn't normally have with certain groups of people. And it's so important. I think it develops leadership and communication and just like a lot of these intangibles that it's really hard to replicate, I feel like, unless you're like in it or in like a group of people like this. So I am really grateful for sport. I think it's brought me a lot of places and taught me a lot of skills and how to manage time and, you know, get deadlines and all the things. So I think it is really important, and just I'm really grateful to be a part of it.
How about for you, Sarah?
Yeah, the first thing that popped into my mind too was just the ability to work with a lot of different people. I mean, we've played overseas, both Tori and I have, and now playing back in the States, but everyone is just different. And so that skill definitely will carry over to the future. I do think there's been parts of sport that have even helped me be a better mom, like being able to be flexible and kind of being comfortable in uncomfortable situations. Like there's a lot of skills that sport really has. There's so many skills that we've just learned through sport that have carried on over to things like being a mom or just whatever we do in the future. There's a lot of skills that come with it.
What I think too is cool is, yes, everyone knows that sports helps you deal with defeat, right? How do I handle it? But handling success is something that some people don't really talk about. And handling success and doing it humbly, but also gaining confidence from it, I think that's a skill that people don't really talk about as much. Because if you don't handle success the right way, sometimes that can become a detriment. Don't you guys think?
Mm-hmm. For sure. And I think being on a team too helps with that, because it is like, especially volleyball is the ultimate team sport. Like so in college you get an award, but it's 100%, even though it's an individual award, it's a 100% a team award. And so yeah, there's like a lot of humility with that too. But like you said, it gives us confidence, but it also, like, we want to be good teammates. That's one of our number one priorities especially in volleyball. You want to be a good teammate, and we want the team to succeed. It's not so much about us individually.
Right. Well, I love both of you. Thank you so much. I enjoyed watching you back when you were with the Gophers, and when I found out you guys are playing pro, I've been kind of digging in, and it's so much fun. I think this AU thing, the whole concept of it is so fun, and now I'm understanding the scoring a little bit better. So, but can you guys, for any fan that wants to come see you guys, when are your next matches, and when can people go? Or how can they find out more information?
We're coming up on our last weekend in Madison. We play Thursday and then Saturday, Sunday this upcoming week. And then we're off to our next adventures, all of us.
Yeah. So it's Thursday, Saturday, and Sunday in Madison coming up
Correct.
here. And people can buy tickets, or is there a website, Tori, that they can go to find out more information? Do you know?
Yes, it's auprosports.com. You can look up our schedule. You can look up tickets, timing information, all the things. And I will say, like, this is our championship weekend, so it is really important. And like, the winner is going to be crowned on Sunday. And so if you're going to pick a day, I think everyone should come to all 3 days. But if you're going to pick a day, Sunday's day.
Okay. So what does the winner get? Are you guys allowed to say?
They get a whole lot of cash, I know that, but also bragging rights, and some cool T-shirts made. No, I don't know.
It's the cash. You'll love that.
They do get some cash. They get a nice little bonus, and that's kind of how our bonus works. Is, you know, the higher up the leaderboard, the more bonus you get. But also, bragging rights is important.
That is amazing. Well, I wish you both the best of luck and a great 3 more days. And of course, Sunday, where it all comes down to this. So thank you so much for joining us. Tori Dixon, Sarah Parsons, you guys are amazing. And thank you for carrying the torch and leading the way for awesome women athletes. I really appreciate you both.